back to another cozy night here on Saltiness Isn't Bliss. The recipe featured tonight is creamy and oh so dreamy pork chops, kind of like my cameraman. Using 1.5 pounds of pork chops here. These are bone-in center cut. Any style of pork chop will do. I just want to say that if you are going to use a thicker style pork chop, you may need to tweak your cook time. So we want to start by putting some oil in our pan. I'm going to go with canola. Any oil will do. We want to put about a tablespoon's worth and turn our burner on to medium. And I always like to spread my oil around as evenly as I can in my pan. So there we go. And we'll just let that heat up for a moment. So while our oil is continuing to heat up, we are going to start prepping what will become our creamy sauce that will go on our pork chops. So in a pan on the side from the pan that we are going to cook our pork chops in, we want to turn that pan onto in between medium-low and medium for right now because we do want to heat everything up slowly. And we want to start with 1/2 cup of chicken broth. In this case, I'm using bone broth because bone broth is the lowest sodium of all the broths. So we want to put that in there. Next up is 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. You can go with it right out of the bottle like I did, or you could squeeze fresh lemon juice in there. 1/4 cup of grated or shredded Parmesan cheese. And last ingredient will be cream cheese. We want to use half of this block. So the block is 8 ounces. We want 4 ounces of our cream cheese and we want to cube it. My oil is all heated, ready to go. The way you will know that quickest is when you move it around your pan and it is hot. It thins out and kind of moves around the pan like water instead of the thicker oil it was when we first put it in there. So now we want to just lay our pork chops in there and we will brown them on each side about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, so our chops are browning on one side. I will show you those when I flip them over. Right now we've got almost all our ingredients for our sauce, so I'm going to use a mini whisk and just give that a nice little stir, help that Parmesan cheese to melt a bit. And then we will cube up our cream cheese over here. We want half of our block, so I'm just going to take the whole thing, cut it in half, bring that half over to my plate, and then just cut it into about 1-inch strips. And then take each of the strips and cut those into about 3 cubes. So it should look something like that. You can of course cut it in half and go down smaller even yet, because now we want that to melt and blend into our sauce, and that is what will create our sauce as well. Okay, so it's about that time to flip our pork. Maybe past the time to flip our pork. No, there we go. We got that nice browned edge there. So about 8 minutes on medium is what I did on that side. So I will continue to brown those. Over here, I've got my sauce mixture. And I've got all my cream cheese added in there, so now I'm going to just break that up with my whisk and just stir it in so that it will start to blend and become much more creamy. All right, so our pork chops have browned on both sides. I've got my burner down to low now, and now what we are going to do is pour our sauce that we created in our other pan directly on top of our pork. And we want to simmer that now for 4 to 5 minutes covered. Creamy pork chops all cooked up, ready to eat. So So there it is on the plate. Of course, if you want some more of that delicious sauce on there, just use a spoon, scoop it up, drizzle it on there, or a little ladle will work. We want to garnish the top with some dried or fresh parsley flakes, or parsley if it's fresh. That would be to taste. And then over here I've just got some seasoned broccoli that was in a freezer pouch, and I'm just going to pair my pork with that. There it is, guys. Dinner tonight. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.